to the PMIS. This is the 2016-17 biennium closure, analyze supplier contracts, excluding LOAs, letters of agreement. This is Carolina Sarmiento Navas from procurement. So this is the location for the job 8. Bajo Mil. Inside the job 8, you are going to find an audience, a responsible party, yes? And we're going to call the cost centers. But in addition to that, we need the region buyers doing this analysis. We are talking about program budget, PV, and non-program budget, non-PV. We are going to explain the difference between both of them because they have certain limitations and we have to take the necessary actions on time. That is the PAHO Pro 506 Open Supplier Contract Lines and it will help you with your analysis. Inside the job 8, you have a link. This link will provide the list of the program budget funds and the non-program budget funds. So you need to go inside the job 8 and click on top of the link. Let's talk about the program budget fund, PV. This is a biennium specific fund or funds, yes? And because they are biennium specific, it means that you can only use it within the current biennium. They cannot cross to the new one. So all those documents that you have currently, those SCONs that you have with this program budget, with future end date, 2018, 2019, you have to split it or open two documents, yes? And so the current SCON will be for the portion or those services delivered in 2017, and the new document that needs to be created will be for the 2018 or 19 deliverables using the PPTs 2018-19 PPTs for those deliverables in the future. When we talk about the non-program budget, those that don't have biennium dependency, it means that you don't have to take any action. Those existing documents with this type of funds will remain, and it's fine. They will cross biennial, and you don't have to take any further actions. Inside the non-program budget, we have a fund called Post-Occupancy Charge Fund, also known as HO. Even though this fund is a non-program budget, because it's biennium specific, it's going to behave like a program budget fund. So you have to keep in mind this type of fund when you are doing the analysis of your program budget. Remember the link. You need to go to the job 8 and click on top of the link to find which funds are program budget and which ones are non-program budget. Now, obligations, meaning SCONs, cannot have project plan tasks or PPTs for 16-17 and 18-19 in the same document. So for PV funds, SCONs must be split or open into two documents, two contracts, one for the implementation amount in each biennium. So here is what I was saying, that if this SCON was created, for example, by the region buyers, and it has this combination, the current SCON has to be reduced to the deliverables in 2017. And a requisition, funded requisition with the PPTs in 2018-19 has to be sourced into a PO con to cover the 2018 deliverables. Yes, so that SCON cannot, the current SCON cannot cross biennium. Yes, and so that will be for the 2018, and the new document that we are sourcing from the requisition will be for the 2018 deliverables. For non-PV funds, because the 16 PPTs will still be applicable, you don't have to take any necessary actions. Those documents can remain there until they are completed. So in program budget and including the HO, you will find a table inside the job aid. This table will contain all the scenarios that you need to analyze using the report I was talking about. Each scenario will tell you what action you need to take, and those actions needs to be within the schedules. Also, when you are creating, because we are not using new SCONs type manual and schedule, and those are for the region buyers, what we are doing is new POs with printable version of a CON, which is a supplier contract. It means that those POs, new POs that we are creating, even though we are talking about SCONs, but because we are not doing any SCONs anymore, those POs must have a document date on or before December 15 to affect the 2017 budget. Yes. Now, if you want to use the 18-19 budget, that PO CON, which is for service contract, must have in the document date a day after December 15, but no later than December 31st in the document date. Remember that we're not creating new SCONs in the system. We are replacing them by the POs with the printable version as a CON, service contract. Now, these dates that we are talking about in the document date are not related to the actual closure schedule. These dates are basically to identify which documents are going to cross biennium. For non-program budget, we also have scenarios that you need to evaluate and analyze within the report. And we have also a section for the prepaids. So if you have any prepaids, you need to refer to the job aids related to the prepaids. Remember that for non-program, you don't need to take any action. Those documents can be created in the system, and you don't need to do any action. Now, a topic that always comes at the end of the year is the accruals, the accrual expense. And this is basically for those goods and services delivered, received in 2017, but not yet invoiced. So all those receipt accruals that you have to create at the end of the year must be approved by December 31st. Yes, so you have to keep in mind by December 31st, those receipt accruals, if you are creating receipts in the system or receipt accruals, yes, which is the same one, but it's for this particular action, they must be approved by December 31st. Now, if the receipt is not created in the PMIS or finance was not informed by December 31st about those goods and services received in 2017, these funds will not be available for payments in 2018. So it means that you will need to cover that payment with 18-19 budget. December 4th, the new biennium budget 2018-19 will be available. So if those current documents, SCONs, has end dates in the future and they belong to the PV funds, remember that you need to split that document in two. And so because you have the 2018-19 PPTs available now, you can submit your requisitions to the region buyers, the funded requisition to the region buyers, requesting to amend the current SCON for the deliverables in 2017 and create a new document which is going to be a PO-CON for the 2018 deliverables. And this is crucial to do it in December within the corresponding schedules. December 22, that's the last day to approve new SCONs, amendments, PO-CONs. Yes, the POs, cons or POs, they must be issued by December 22. Basically, December 22 is the last day to have everything completed. You cannot have requisitions in progress. You cannot have POs in progress or approved. They have to be issued. You cannot have SCONs in approval process, in amendment progress. They have to be, those SCONs must be approved. PV funds with 16-17 PPTs, goods and services, must be delivered in 2017. PV funds with 18-19 PPTs, goods and services, must be delivered in 2018. Non-PV funds with 16-17 PPTs, those goods and services can be delivered this year or 2018. Non-PV funds with 18-19 PPTs, goods and services, must be delivered in 2018. December 31st. So this is the last day for the creation and approve those receipts. Let's call it receipt for goods and services, the regular ones, or let's call it for the receipt accruals. So those receipts has to be approved. They have to be approved in the system by December 31st, 2017. And we are talking about those receipts for example, SCON types, deliverable service contract, manual, or a schedule that belongs to procurement. Now we have building leases, which is a different type of SCON. And December 31st, again, is the last day to report to FRM the amount for the goods and services delivered by December 31st, 2017, but not yet paid for that type of SCON building lease. Now, if we're talking about SCON type long-term agreements or long-term agreement subsidiaries which belong to procurement only, procurement in the country offices or procurement here in headquarters, they do not obligate funds. And so you don't need to report any accruals and you don't need to take any further actions. If they complete the validity up to 31st December 2017, remember to close them and issue new LTAs for the following years. Critical for closure is that for all open SCONs, you need to ensure that they have the end date at the header level of that SCON, yes? And you have to amend those SCONs and make sure that the end date is there, and you have up to the November 30th. So from now to November 30th, you need to do an amendment if your SCONs are missing the end dates at the header level. The report that is going to help you with this analysis is the Pro 505 Open Supplier Contract Lines. And so we have cost centers and procurement departments, region buyers in procurement and country offices doing the analysis. And so the way a cost center will filter this report is by the cost center, and it needs to follow the filters and actions provided inside the job aid. Procurement needs to filter by his own region, and again follow the filters and actions provided inside the job aid. Once you run the report and you get the results, you need to refer to table 1. You remember those scenarios for program and non-program budget? You need to check in each one of them and take the necessary action. Cost centers, when you are doing the analysis, you need to verify which region and who was the initiator of that particular SCON. Why? Because you need to contact them. They will be the ones taking the necessary action. And the way to communicate with them is using the appropriate tools. So if those SCONs were created by the region buyers, meaning the procurement departments in procurement or head or in country offices, means that you need to communicate with them through or request something through a requisition. Yes, through a requisition. For other type of SCONs, such as building leases, you might need to send an email. Key points for this job aid is that cost centers and region buyers need to review this job aid. You need to run the report in order to be able to analyze your whole operation and go inside the table to verify the scenarios and take the necessary actions on time. Procurement, let's remember that procurement is not using SCON types, deliverable service contract manual, or schedule. The new way of doing service contracts is through a requisition to a PO, a purchase order, that we call CON, C-O-N, which is the proper method. You need to review the deadlines. Remember, the last day to submit requisitions for new POs, CONs. The last day to issue all POs or have all the supplier contracts approved is December 22, 2017. And remember those document dates inside the PO, that in order to affect the 2017 budget, they must be on or before December 15. But if you want to affect the 2018 budget, the document date on that PO needs to be after December 15, but not later than December 31st. Thank you very much.